What's up, guys? Welcome to another video on People EDC. Today we're doing another knife, and this is a maybe a less popular knife, but the guy that, I don't know if he owns the company or whatnot, but he posts a lot of Amazon deals on YouTube, so you've probably seen these knives, at least something from this company, floating around. And we're going to take a look at this one that I have today. Now, for full disclosure, I have purchased another knife from this brand in the past, and I returned it because the action was crap. So that was a crossbar lock, though. This is a different kind of lock. And what we're looking at is the 704 Gear Dynamo. This is a compact knife. So it's not, it's not tiny, but it's definitely not large either. Let's take a look at what we got going on with this model. This comes in this, it's not like a bright green. It looks brighter on the camera than IRL, but it's got this green G10, and there's another version of this knife. I can't remember exactly what it is. I think it's black. I'm not 100% sure. But this one is okay. So I'm going to be kind of tough on this knife because of the price point and the blade steel and the locking feature. It's kind of a sounds too good to be true. So that's why I'm going to point out everything that I've experienced with this knife. I'm going to try not to forget anything. Anyway, let's get into it. This G10's got some pretty nice texture on it. It's kind of like a, I guess you would call it like a checkered pattern, and it is tactile. So it's not smooth at all. It's also not too rough either. It's pretty good. And the black liners are flush with the scales. And we got some chamfering around the edge. And captive pivot. Here's their Gear logo there. And I think this is, well, this is obviously T8. I did not do a hardware check on this, but these all look like T6 for the rest of the screws. So that is what's going on. And we've got a pocket clip with recessed screws, but on top of the scales. It's a decent pocket clip. I think it's a little long for the size of the handle aesthetically, but it doesn't bother me. And we're reversible, and we've got a lanyard hole on either side. One thing I'm going to point out first before we deploy the blade is it looks centered on screen, but it's slightly to the left. I don't know if you can tell. It's just a little bit to the left, and I've messed with the pivot. I can't get it to go any straighter, so there's that. Thumb studs, and this is a button plunge lock. Action is fantastic. That is definitely something I will highlight, especially the reverse flick. It like rockets out. Thumb flick is also pretty darn good. The thumb studs, however, are close to the handle, closer than I'd like, and the tops of them are smooth. So it's not really a problem getting in between the handle and the thumb stud to deploy, but do keep in mind that they definitely could have moved them out. So this is our blade here. This is a stone washed. I believe it's hollow ground. So that's pretty neat. It is a slicey blade. And the steel, oh, that's kind of hard to read. 14C28N on a $30 knife. So that's sounds pretty good, but we'll get into some stuff here. Let's go over the size. Like I said, it's on the smaller side. I don't think I would want to carry a knife any smaller than this personally. And I wear XL hands and I wear XL gloves and I have long fingers. So this knife is probably as small as I would want to go personally. I mean, unless I need to carry something smaller. It's like 6.5 inches long. And the blade, they listed as a 2.7-inch blade. Let's see if we can get an accurate measurement on the blade. Yeah, that's pretty accurate. 2.7-inch blade. And the cutting edge is 2 5/8. That's what I'm going to call the cutting edge. And the milling, well, this is going to be easy. There isn't any milling on the liners, so I'm sure that's part of how they got the price down. There's no milling. It's not a heavy knife though. It's really not at all. There's knives in this size comparison. I'll do them that are heavier. So let's go ahead and I think we got through all that. One big thing though, I do want to point out, it's probably the biggest thing that I have an issue with this knife is the, we've got a little bit up and down. You might be able to hear that. I don't know how well you can see it, but the up and down play is present. Side to side's great. There's a tiny, tiny, tiny bit I can feel side to side movement, but the up and down, I really notice it when I'm doing pull cuts, like with the straps, like plastic straps on bundles of boxes at work. I can feel it like clunk a little bit whenever I give it a rip. So we'd like to point that out, and also I'm not sure what they heat treat their steel at, but I do have a couple little nicks in this blade from using it, and I haven't used it any harder than any of my other knives. So, but we've got a little hang up right here I can feel, and you can probably see that there, and there's another one you can see down here. But that one's not as bad. This whole plate right here is a little rough. It's still sharp, but I do want to point that out that I'm not sure if their HRC is what it should be at. Like I said, I'm going to be hard on this knife. Well, I guess that's about all the negative things I have to say about it. And let's get into size comparisons here. So we can get this rolling. Like I said, it's not a big knife, so we've got a couple gentleman style folders here, I would call them. Whoop. That's the Kaiser Mini Militaw and the Kaiser Original, the first one. So these are kind of on the smaller side here. It is bigger than a 5th pocket knife, of course. And now let me get into some more. Couple more here. We've got the Civivi Altis and the Civivi Mini Praxis. It is slightly larger, and the handle, that's about the same. These are all pretty close together as far as size goes. The blade is a little bit shorter than both of them, however. Next on the size comparisons, we've got a couple pretty popular EDC knives. We've got the Civivi Elementum and the QSP Penguin. So it is smaller than both of those knives. The handle length is pretty close to the Elementum, but it doesn't have a flipper like the Elementum does, which limits your grip length here. Got a couple more here for you. The Kaiser Drop Bear 2 sheep's foot and the Remet Rhino. So the Rhino is obviously bigger. The Drop Bear 2 has a shorter handle, but it's got a large forward choil area. So you actually get more grip on the Drop Bear 2. And here we've got the Kaiser Exist and the Kaiser Drop Bear, the first version. Drop Bear is also a pretty popular EDC knife. So that is those two compared to our 704 Gear Dynamo. And to wrap up the medium-sized knives here, we've got the Megaron Norsa and the Vosteed Porcupine. So that is those two. They're both larger than the Dynamo here in the middle. And we've got some larger ones here. The Kaiser Mini Mystic, the Vosteed Raccoon, the CJRB Pyrite Light, and the Kaiser Madrack. The Raccoon and the Pyrite Light are a couple other pretty popular EDC knives compared to the Dynamo here. And last but certainly not least, we've got some big boys here. The Tenable Shard, the Petrified Fish 818, the Kaiser Militaw full size, and the Trivisa Hornet. These two in the middle here, again, pretty popular knives. So if you made it this far in the video, I'd like to thank you for watching and checking out my channel. And there is one more thing that I forgot to mention in the beginning, and that's that the button, you gotta push it in and keep it in there for the blade to close. So if not, that happens. If you let go too soon, the blade will stop closing. It's not terrible to get used to, but it is something to mention. But I guess that's a good thing, right? It's like you really gotta push it almost all the way completely down. And that's gonna do it. Do I recommend this knife for $30? Yeah. It's a pretty good knife. I would even say that it's a decent work knife, but I wouldn't be doing too hard of anything with it because it is a button plunge lock after all. But I've seen people complain about the lockup and about it closing on them, and I've never had a problem with it closing while I was using it. So I don't know, maybe they were using it really hard, but I haven't had an issue with that. So thanks for watching this video, and I do have reviews already of several of the knives you saw, and there will be more to come. Uh, Subscribe, like, and I appreciate the support. Have a good one.